I'm loving this new game, mate. I think this new game is definitely an upgrade from past games.
Bro, what? It's just stunned.
Camo grind is just headshots. You just got to get loads of headshots. I don't even care about leveling up. You don't have to level up your guns. You just gotta get headshots to get the camos. Okay. What's going on YouTube? In today's video, we're going to be going over the best settings for the new Call of Duty Black Ops 6 on PC. Now, these settings are going to be the best for AMD GPUs and CPUs, but you can use them if you've got NVIDIA as well. Let's get into it. All right, first up, we're going to go to our controller settings. Now, in our controller settings, we're going to obviously make sure our inputs on controller button layout. I play tactical because I have 4 back buttons on my controller. So I like to play tactical because I have it set up like that. For your 6 sensitivity, use what you want. I'm playing on 7.5, seems to be pretty good. Obviously, with the vertical, you don't need as much like up and down when you're with sort of snapping up down. It's more horizontal, but you can put it on however you like, whatever is preference for you. Simplified controls, make sure these are off. Low motor strain off, bumper ping off. Swap L1 and R1 with L2, R2. That's up to you. That's a preference as well. Controller vibration, make sure that's turned off. Trigger effect, we have that turned off as well. Dead zones, now these are the best dead zones. These are actually the dead zones that Shotzi uses as well for his controller. So left stick minimum, we want that as low as possible without stick drift. 0 being the best because this will give you the maximum aim assist. Even a little bit of stick drift will be good because it will initiate rotational aim assist on your left thumbstick. So make sure you have that as low as possible. Mine's on 0. Left stick max, set this at 75, right stick minimum at 3, and left stick max at 99. Your left and your right trigger all the way down at 0. In aiming, your sensitivity multiplier. Now, I'm still playing around with this, but I've dropped my ADS sensitivity multiplier down to 0.85, as well as the ADS sensitivity multiplier for focus, as well as 0.85. So play around with those, see what works best for you, but that's what I use for multipliers. Look and vision on foot standard, aim sensing, aiming advanced settings. Now these are going to be one of the most important. Make sure ADS sensitive transition timing is set to instant. Third person ADS correction types on assist. Aim response curve time. Now this is what you want to set to dynamic. Make sure that is on dynamic. It comes at standard, but make sure you change it to dynamic. Custom sensitivity per zoom. I haven't touched this. I'm not using this at the moment. You can play around, but I'm not using that at the moment. Target aim assist, make sure that's turned on. Motion sensor behavior. Now these are the motion sensor settings for your gyro and on your controllers. Don't worry about those. Make sure they're turned off. Movement, make sure tactical sprint assist is turned on because that is how you get your attack sprint, same as Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone. Mental assist, make sure it's off. Crouch assist, off. Corner slice. Now this is where you will lean left or right on a corner when you approach it. I currently have that off. Play around with it, but I like it off. You might prefer it on. Slide dive behavior, I have this set to hybrid for diving as well. You can just have it on slide only. It does seem that diving in this game is not as important as it was in the beta. So see what you like. I'm using hybrid. Auto door peak we have off. Sprint restore we have on. Slide maintain sprint on. Parachute automatic behavior we have free fall. Mantle cancels reload we have the off. We don't want to be mantling on something while we're trying to reload because it will cancel it. Movement advanced settings. Sprint. This is going to be default for most of these. Sprint / tactical sprint behavior toggle. Auto move forward we have off. Ground and mental off. Tactical sprint activation. Make sure that's on single tap sprint. Plunging underwater. We want to freely be able to plunge underwater, not use our triggers to go up and down. And sprinting door bash. Make sure that is on as well. Vehicle settings. I haven't played with these at all, to be honest. So these are all set to default. But play around. I haven't played with them yet. No cars really. You can't really drive cars in multiplayer. So don't worry about those at the moment. Combat, aim down sight behavior. I want to have that on hold. Weapon mount activation, ADS plus melee. Make sure that's set to that. It is the best one to use. It's preference for everyone that plays the game. Dedicated melee weapon activation, hold melee. Armor plates. This will be mainly for, there's one game mode in the game where you need to apply armor. Make sure you have that on play or C4 detonation activation 1 by 1 instead of all at once. You don't want to be throwing both of them at the same time. You want to throw one at a time, blow it up, one at a time, blow it up. Equipment behavior, hold, manual fire behavior, press, combat advanced settings, change zoom. These are all set to default except for this one here, which is very important. Interact / reload behavior, set to prioritize reload. In multiplayer, we want to prioritize reloading our gun, not picking up stuff off the ground as we do in Warzone. So instead of prioritize interact, which we do in Warzone, we prioritize reload, which we do in Modern Warfare. in multiplayer. Sprint cancels reload, we have that off because we don't want to be sprinting by mistake and then cancelling our reload by mistake. ADS stick swap, don't worry about that. Depleted weapon ammo switch, I have that on. You can have it off. I just like it, you know, if I run out of bullets, it switches my gun automatically into my secondary. Generally, if I'm running out of bullets, it's because I'm in a gunfight. Body shield, so finishing move behavior, prioritize body shield. That's when we, you know, go behind somebody to like execute them. We want to be able to just get them as a body shield. It's way more fun that way. Scoreboard, map, stats, behavior, toggle, overlay, advanced settings. Don't worry about all these here. Into our graphics settings. So here we're going to be using either full screen exclusive for the best input latency or full screen borderless. It doesn't really matter. It's not that big of a deal. There's no really any difference. Go borderless if you've got more than one monitor. Make sure it's set to your monitor and your graphics card. Mine is the Radeon 7900 XTX. If for some reason you're on borderless and the screen refresh light's locked at something else, just go to full screen exclusive and you can change it there. Make sure display resolution set at your monitor's resolution. If you're playing 1080, set it to 1080. Mine's 1440, so I'll set to 1440. Aspect ratio on automatic. Display gamma at 2.2. Change your brightness. I set it to about 55. Seems to be good. Monitor preference is going to be the way to go on that one. Eco mode preset. This is on custom. VSync off. VSync menus off. Custom frame rate. We have that on limited. Reduce menu render resolution. We have this on native at the moment. Pause game rendering. We have off. Reduce quality when inactive 10 minutes. Focus mode, we have that all the way at 0. HDR we have off as well. In quality, graphic preset on custom. Render resolution at 100. Dynamic resolution we have off. Upscaling sharpening, we're going to set this once again. Same as Warzone, same as Modern Warfare 3 on Fidelity CAS. I have it set to 50. VRAM scale target we have set to 80. Variable rate shading, make sure you have this turned on. This is going to give you the most frames in the game. Texture resolution, we set this to normal. If you have a lower end GPU, set this to low or very low. Normal seems to be fine. You don't want to give up too many frames by putting it on high. Now, most of these are going to be down on low. So let's go through these quickly. Texture filter anisotropic on low, depth of field off, detail quality on low, particle resolution low, bullet impacts we have on. It's more immersive in the game. I enjoy it. Persistent effects we have off. Shader quality on low. On-demand texture streaming, it is on by default, so we set that to optimize. Local texture streaming quality on low. Shadow quality low. Screen space shadows low. Occlusion and screen space lighting on low. Screen space reflections normal. Static reflection quality low. Tessellation on near. Volumetric quality low. Deferred physics quality low. Weather grid volumes low. And water quality we have on off. Into the view tab. Motion reduction preset on off. Field of view, set this to your preference, somewhere between 100 and 120. I have it at the max, so I want to see the most field of view I can. So I set that to 120. ADS field of view, make sure it's on affected, not independent. Weapon field of view on wide. Third person field of view at 90. Vehicle field of view on wide. Weapon motion blur off. Weapon world motion blur off as well. First person camera movement at least 50. Third person camera movement at least 50. Third person ADS transition at first person and inverted flashbang. If you wanted to flash black in your face instead of white when you get hit by a flashbang, put that as on. There is also a built-in benchmark tool which you can use to test your FPS in the game before you actually go and play it. So give that a run, see where you sit and play around with your settings if you want to try and increase your FPS or quality. Audio. Now this has been a little bit tough. I'm still not hearing very many footsteps. I'm sure there's going to be some tunes or something in the future which are going to make these a bit better for us PC users. So for now, we set the master volume as kind of as low as I can without the gunshots being too booming in my ears. Gameplay music all the way at 0. We don't need gameplay music. There's no point in having it in the game when we're trying to play the game, right? And we don't want to hear the gameplay music. We're trying to listen to footsteps. Dialogue volume, we have that set to about 64 because we still want to hear things like, you know, incoming missiles and things like that. Effects volume, this is your footstep sounds. Make sure that's all the way at 100. Cinematic volume, I also have that on 0. The audio device, set it to your audio device, your headset most likely. Speaker output on stereo and enhance headphone mode. You can have this on. This is a new thing that Call of Duty have added, and you can actually go in and pay for a version of it that costs money. Try it with on. It's supposed to be their preferred sort of spatial audio for the game, so give it a try, see what you think. Audio mix, we have it set to Treyarch. You can use what's best for you. Headphones, bass boost might be better, or maybe home theater. So try those ones out and see what you think. Mono audio we have off. Mute gaming minimize off. Mute license music. This is a new one. If you're a streamer, content creator, whatever it is, you don't want licensed music to be playing through your stream and you get in trouble. So make sure you have that on if you stream. If not, don't worry about it. Asymmetrical hearing compensation, we can turn that on if you want. Oh, sorry, have that one off. Configure frequency intensity. This is if you've got hearing deficiencies in one left ear or right ear. You can adjust those frequencies to make them louder or quieter. Reduce tinnitus sound, make sure that's on, and hit marker preset on default. In the interface tab, we're going to visual support preset. These are all going to be pretty much as standard. Gameplay tips we have on, tutorials off. Skip introduction movie, we have that off. We don't want to be taking longer to get into the game. Skip kill cam, we have that off because we don't want to skip the kill cam really. Tool tips we have on as well. Telemetry. This is if you want your counters up in the top left. This is FPS counter. Put that on the top left if you want, including packet loss or servant latency. Now for your HUD, make sure your minimap is set to square. This is very important. It's bigger shape than a circle. Set it to square. You can change your presets, how your HUD is laid out. I've got mine currently on standard. Haven't played around with it enough. Standard seems to be fine. You can also change the scale, the size of your minimap as well. So if you want to make it bigger, you can make that bigger. I just have it set to 100, which is default. And then you can also play around with these too and, change different size things on your HUD as well. It's all customizable. In your colors, now this is very important. Make sure your color filter is set to 2 and your color filter target set to both, and both world intensity and interface color intensity are at 100. Right, and that's basically everything for the in-game settings. These will give you the best FPS and the maximum visibility for Black Ops 6. Next, we're going to move into the AMD Radeon software where we're going to check over some settings there and give you some better performance out of your game. All right, now that we're in the AMD Radeon software, we're going to make sure we have everything up to date. If there's an update, do it. The current version is 24.10.1. This is the recommended by Call of Duty to have as your driver. So update your drivers. Next, we go into our gaming tab, and then we're going to click on Call of Duty, and we're going to make sure gaming experiences use global gaming experience, and we're going to into our global gaming experience. Right, and here we're going to copy the settings. This is for your AMD GPU and CPU. Make sure you copy these settings. Radeon Super Resolution disabled. AMD Fluid Motion Frames, you want that disabled. It will give you input latency. Anti-lag, we have that one turned on. Radeon Boost as disabled. Radeon Chill disabled. Radeon Image Sharpening, we have that on. It is still, I'm not too sure whether this actually does affect much. We have it turned on, set at 80. Play around with it if you like. Video Upscale disabled. Radeon Enhanced Sync disabled. Wait for vertical for refresh rate always off. Frame rate target control disabled. Anti-aliasing, we use application settings. Anti-aliasing method, multi-sampling. Morphological anti-aliasing disabled. Anisotropic filtering as enabled, and we set this to 8x. Texture filter quality, we set this to performance. Surface format optimization enabled. Tessellation mode, use application settings. OpenGL buffering as disabled. 10-bit pixel format disabled, and restart your shader cache as well. It will help. Now if we go back to our games and we go into Call of Duty, and then we go to our display and we click on our global display. Now here we will make the game a little bit brighter and pop more in color. So we'll go over the settings first that you need, and then we'll go into the color settings. So FreeSync, this is not supported, so we don't have it on. Virtual Super Resolution is disabled. GPU scaling, we do have this currently enabled, so make sure you enable that one. Scaling mode, preserve aspect ratio, integer scaling disabled. Color depth, we have this on 8BC as RGB 4x4x4. Display color enhancement as disabled as well. Now for the custom color settings, make sure you have it enabled and your color temperature control enabled. Set this to about 6500, maybe on default at 6500, but set that around about there. Brightness 0, hue 0, contrast 100, and saturation bump that up to about 160. Now this will give you better color in the game and make sure your reds and your greens and your blues are all popping in color. Now if you go into performance and then over to tuning, make sure you have AMD Smart Access Memory enabled. If you run an AMD GPU and an AMD CPU, this will give you the biggest boost in performance for FPS over everything. Make sure AMD Smart Access Memory is enabled. Alright guys, that's about everything I've got for you today. We will be coming up with more in-depth video on some other Windows settings to do in the future. But for now, get those into your system, get them into your game, and enjoy the FPS and the quality. We'll catch you in the next one.